attracting clients, fostering loyalty, and positioning ourselves as a reliable and credible source online. Welcome back to The Walkthrough, the most underrated show in real estate, where each and every single week we bring on top industry professionals to educate and entertain. And we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. I am your co-host, Dan Oneil. And before I introduce my other co-host, the only other co-host on today's panel, I would like to say a sincere thank you to everyone who's been watching, liking, commenting, and making this one of BAM's most popular shows. From the bottom of our heart, we have so much fun doing this. It is a lot of work, but thank you. Today with me, as always, the guru, big face guy, beautiful tan right now. You look like you might be in San Diego, if that was my guess.
You know what,
Mr.
I'm not in San Diego. I just realized all I had to do was flip the camera around, and I got this background as opposed to the background of all those stupid art photos. So for a year, I've been doing this show with a horrible background, and now it's finally a little bit better. All I had to do was make one little adjustment. So I am feeling incredible. My life just changed. The quality of the walkthrough just changed. And I'm also wearing the hat, La Paloma. That's where I got married, as Jay mentioned in the pregame. Perfect beard length.
Yep.
This is going to be the best episode maybe of all time. We got so many great topics.
I believe it. Yeah. And I can't believe that all you did was just literally flip the camera around for a year and a half, and now you're totally different background.
It's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah. Anyway, also joining us is by far one of our most favorite and highly requested guests, my good friend. She's been helping me with posting content, Miss Lindsay Joe. Lindsay, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Always happy to be here with you guys.
Of course. And we are very happy to have you. And for the first time ever, top broker in Manhattan with a Corcoran Group, Mr. Jay Glazer. Looks like he's in the Delta Lounge. Jay.
How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Straight out of Staten Island, Jay Glazer. What's
Welcome
up, everybody?
to the show.
Thanks
buddy.
for having me. Appreciate
Let's go. Really excited to have you. Today we're talking about the death of threads, open house strategies, and being authentically yourself, and much, much more. But make sure, if you're watching right now, take 1 second. One second. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Leave us a comment. This is going to be a great episode. Let's get into it. Topic number 1 from the BAM staff, Vanessa and Shane Bergman. By the way, Shane Bergman is the new Cassidy, where we just talk about this guy's articles and what he's doing each and every single week. But
I'm going to have a talk with the writers. No more Shane Bergman articles. He is banned from BAM.
He's in one, though. He's doing very, very
crushing
well.
it. We love him.
Yes. So his topic is elevate your open houses with this simple strategy. It's posted by him and Vanessa. This will be linked in the show notes. Again, Shane is the new Cassidy's. But I say this every week. Open houses are a tryout. They are, in my opinion, the best way to generate leads, because people are coming to your open house and they are raising their hand saying that they want to buy or that they are looking. Do you get a nosy neighbor every now and then? Sure. But the guests are getting to experience what it's like working with you. Every weekend, real estate agents across the country prepare to host open houses, not only to sell them, but to make connections with potential buyers and sellers. But how can you stand out in a sea of open house signs and generic balloons? Well, Shane Bergman recently shared a simple and affordable hack: custom banners. You heard that right, custom banners. By investing in a custom banner, Shane discovered the perfect way to set the tone and engage with visitors at his open houses. We have the video teed up right here. If we can, I don't know what Eric's smiling about, but can we tee this video up really fast, Haley?
Just like we're talking about some revolutionary thing, and it's just custom banners, but it's
an open house.
It's literally an open house banner.
I mean,
but this is a great video. Go ahead, play it. This is great.
Wow, that'll get your attention. When people go to an open house, I already want to set the tone of my personality and the way that we market homes. This sign absolutely does it. Everything down to the 6 steps that we've put on here. It's fun. It lets them know what they need to be doing and looking out for, and it also has a call to action. QR codes are popular. This QR code is interesting because it goes to my link tree. My link tree, I have the ability to manipulate or modify in real time. Anytime I have an open house, I can change the top link for the open house listing itself. I can do open house giveaways on there, gate codes, all sorts of things with one QR code. Pro tip, you're gonna need something to weigh this down. I actually have sandbags, but if you don't have sandbags, you can use some plates that you have laying around if you're a lifter like me. So what's this gonna cost me? Roughly $170. You get this banner. the ability to customize it and ship to you. And it also comes in a nice little carrying bag for your everyday convenience.
This guy's unbelievable. Speaking of sandbaggers, thank God Jay Glazer's on the show here today.
I was about to say there's a sandbagger.
Yeah, you. So the power of customization is really the biggest takeaway, right? With the custom banner at your open house, you're not just another agent lost in the crowd. You have an opportunity to showcase your brand and personality while conveying important information. So from Shane's video, like on the little house or his open house rules, it's an open house. Come on in. Ask questions. That's what we're here for. Feel free to wander around. No, we won't force you to sign anything. You break it, you buy it. If you're eating or drinking, did you bring some for us? So he's creating a call to action. He's making people laugh, and he's sticking out when he does these open houses. Jay, what do you do in the busy streets of Manhattan to promote your open houses?
Sure. So I would just like to say with Shane, I mean, I think some of the things that he seemed to do well with that sign was one, he also made it personable, right? Like he took a little humor in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of these people come into our open house and it's like so uptight and they think we're so like wired to just be like straight laced and, you know, we have an objective to sell the home and like they forget that we're also humans and we also have actual personalities. Yeah. So I think kudos to him for like throwing that little kind of like little joke in there. Yeah, a little personal touch. But for us, well, first of all, you know, we're selling vertical living in New York City. So we don't really do banners and custom signs. And, you know, at the most we get to do is a sign on like a brownstone or an actual townhome that we're selling, but that's not, you know, super common. So for us, I mean, what we've historically done is if we're trying to generate leads, I would say we circle dial, right? So that's pretty generic. There's nothing new about that.
But how many people actually do that though? Like it's generic, but like how many people are actually doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing can be said about like open houses. Like open houses are generic. I mean, you know, we're making, you know, we're laughing about an open house being this sort of like revolutionary idea, but like at the end of the day, some of the best practices in real estate are the old school practices. So to answer your question, there's not a lot of people who circle dial.
Yep.
You know, it is hard to get numbers in New York City. That's a huge issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, what is circle dialing? Is that when you make calls to prospective buyers and just walk around in a circle?
Yeah, well, I walk around in a circle. It's like a, you know, like
I know what it is. I'm just kidding.
A circle
for the
of
people
golf
at home
balls.
that may not know what it is.
No, I mean, for us, circle dialing is actually probably more like vertical dialing, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to basically draw people in from in. Yeah. Right. I walk up and down the neighbors. I actually one time asked a building if I could put flyers under people's doors in the building, and he looked at me like I was certified lunatic because you just cannot solicit people in New York City like that. So for us, circle dialing is just basically looking at like properties and seeing if someone, you know, in a building next door would be interested in popping by. As you know, as both a way to potentially sell the home, less likely, but more likely, you know, generate your own leads. But the way we stand out, first of all, just showing up, as we discussed, you know, posting the open house early. A lot of times, I don't know how it works in other markets, but like you have to really give yourself like a 72-hour lead time to get an open house posted.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say to my team, when we list a property, list on a Monday, open house that Sunday, give ourselves as much runway so people actually know to add it to their schedules. Because obviously everybody in New York City thinks they're like the busiest person, right? So you always have to make sure that they have enough time to schedule. And then also, just getting back to people, because like it's crazy. Even in New York City, where you think everybody's sophisticated, they're spending millions of dollars. They're like, "Oh, are you having an open house this weekend?" And like just making sure that you get back to people on that touch point and saying, "Yeah, feel free to come by between such and such windows." We also have this like kind of gating issue post-COVID, where like some buildings don't allow open houses. We have to do open houses by appointment, which is like a super New York City nuanced thing. So just communicating honestly, like frequently and effectively is a huge way that we get people to show up.
Yep. So what we've been doing, that's been
basic.
Really, well, I mean, it's basic, but it works, right? So, you know, you don't want to switch anything up that's already working. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. What we've been doing is, to your point, I've been blocking off showings actually. So I'll list something on a Wednesday and I'll block Thursday, Friday from private showings. And I'll purposely drive traffic to the open houses Saturday, Sunday.
100%.
So it's like an absolute car wreck
100%.
at the open house, right? Because there's lines, there's people driving everywhere. Now the perception when they go to that house is like, wow, there's 100 people that are going to be bidding on this. Now I have to go there, as opposed to a dead, quiet open house where there's nobody there. You immediately think that you're going to be getting a deal. I love the fact that Shane was mentioning creating a call to action. We have QR codes, so there's no pen and paper. You don't have to read someone's fake name when you're trying to follow up with them. You just scan the QR code, keep it moving. We have a little off-market packet that there's literally nothing in, but it gets, so it's like, right? It's like fair housing, open house sign, information, and then off-market listings. everybody and their mother always goes, off market listings, there's no inventory.
Yeah.
You guys have off market. We go, yeah, that's for our VIP clients only. If you want to sign up right here for our email list, we'll send some over to you. I mean, and then obviously we got to send them off market listings, but 9 out of 10 people we're creating value there because it really is like a tryout and an experience of working with us works every time. I get wacky balloons. So if it's like right now, I would go get a Valentine's Day balloon and put them out, and it's an immediate talking point because people are like, hey man, it's the end of July, right? Why do you have
I was just going to say, that
Despicable
makes
Me
no
balloons?
sense.
It makes total sense. Think about it.
What do you mean?
just
So you
keep talking
get
about it.
like heart balloons and stuff
Yes.
that say
I get
Happy
Despicable-
Valentine's Day?
I just got
Conversation starter.
I just got Despicable Me.
What?
Balloon
And people think you're a moron the second they walk in the open house saying it's
No,
July,
they
but
think it's hilarious.
but how does that
I
conversation
respect it.
like? Do they? So that it's an immediate
So-
conversation start where they just
like,
ask, "Why is
It
there?"
goes like this. Ready?
Okay.
Exactly. Every time. And I make the same joke for 5 years. They
Okay.
come in, they go, wow, busy open out. What's up with the Valentine's Day balloons? I go, yeah, it's my assistant just got the wrong ones. Hey, by the way, when you sign in, use the QR code. Just sign in so that way we know if you put a hole in the wall, we know where to find you. They make a little chuckle. Now they're feeling good. They know me. Get the deal. Anyway, I'll continue on. We invite the neighbors. We put our signs out on Friday and leave them out until Monday, right, or Thursday. So we leave them out all week. We make content while we're there. We do live videos. We circle dial and we door knock and invite everybody to come and preview. And that's what is working for us. Lindsay, you have a stance, a pretty interesting stance here. You said you haven't done an open house in years. If I told you that you can make money on it or like Shane's video.
I hate open houses. I feel like I just hate them so much. Like you have the kids in there with their sticky fingers. You have the parents that don't want to sign in. Like I just don't like them. I'm also the kind of person that I need to pick 2 or 3 things in my business and do those 2 or 3 things really well. If I pick 5 or 6 things, then nothing gets done. So open houses are just not part of the 2 or 3 things that I focus on.
Would it be something that you like would be willing to test out if you like use the right practices? And if I told you can make a lot of money doing it?
I mean, maybe. I mean, for my listings, I just have somebody on my team do open houses. I mean, I don't know. Sell me, Dan. What should I be? What?
I mean,
Get some St. Patrick's Day balloons and stick them
I
outside
guess
of your
so.
listing, and then maybe you'll have
Happy
floods
New Year.
of people there.
Happy New Year,
Works.
balloons, crushing it.
It works.
No, I mean, Lindsay, I mean, listen, I built my entire business on private appointments and open houses. Like, I didn't utilize some crazy network in the beginning. I have a great network now, but like, I just meet people. If you really know your craft, I feel like a good agent will distinguish themselves at an open house the way that a team member potentially can't yet, or that, a competitor really more importantly can't, because when you walk in and you're the and when they walk in and you're the expert, I feel like people immediately gravitate to me and they're like, oh, that's the guy. The amount of clients I have, like I met you at an open house and you were just not an idiot and want to continue to work with you is like innumerable.
Jay, I
right?
mean, you did Gwyneth Paltrow, right? Like all these like big names. I don't know how to say them. I don't really whatever. Hey, Dan, but you've done all these big celebrities, open houses and stuff, and like it's such a good lead generator. And
it really is.
Before I pass it to Eric, Lindsay, what if we made a public accountability bet right now?
Okay.
She does not sound stoked about that.
because you're so good and you're so personable and everyone loves you. If you're at that open house, you're going to get that client. You're going to get that lead.
100%.
And I know 100%. It. So I'm going to challenge you in the next 30 days to do 4 open houses in the next month. Give me something to do. Maybe we can talk about it offline. 4 open houses in the next 30 days. And
I will
if you
do 2.
get one,
I will do 2.
Okay,
Two's good. Yeah, once every couple of weeks.
Sure. Yeah. And you give me something to do and we'll talk about it. If you think about it, you let me know. But we're going to do public accountability. We'll see you in a month. 2 open houses. Watch how much money you make. Eric, what are your takeaways from Shane's article here and how agents can market and distinguish themselves from other people?
Well, I'm not an agent anymore, so I can't really speak upon what best practices are for open houses. I know that I've bought balloons before and I hated transporting them from Party City to my apartment. So anybody that uses balloons, I think that's a psychotic measure to do. But to touch on Jay's point, the personality that you have on Shane's custom poster, their custom banner, the second you walk in, where I don't remember what it said, but if you're eating or drinking, did you bring anything for us? Like, it's not that funny of a thing to say, but it's funny enough to where you already know that the agent in there has some sort of personality. So they're already walking in there with a smile. They're already kind of excited to meet this person because there's something different there right off the bat. And also to touch
Yep.
on Jay's point, the agent at the open house has so much to do with your vibe of that house. Now that I am actually shopping for a home, and we're going to open houses every single weekend now, there's been so many agents that have no idea what they're talking about. They don't
Yep.
engage with you. They're just
Yep.
sitting there on their phone. They're not even asking you to sign in. And then the
Yep.
vibe is just strange. Or there's the helicopter agent. There was one house we went to in the Valley where this woman was standing out the front, waving at us the second we got out of our car, and was just following us into every single room. And Ann and I looked at each other like, this agent's insane. Like, we actually
Yeah,
like this house, but
It's
this
the beginning
agent
of a horror film.
will not stop following us and just asking us questions. So the vibe
It's the
of the
worst.
open house is definitely determined by the agent, right, Ann?
Yeah, I mean, I think, if I may, like, you don't necessarily think this, but thank you. I think a lot of buyers are sort of testing the waters, as Dan said, if who they want to hire
Yeah.
after going to certain open houses. Like, there are, without a doubt, a ton of free agents out there who are going to pick an agent based on the experience they had at an open house.
Absolutely.
Especially people in the beginning of their search, because they somehow feel relegated to go to open houses only. Like, again, even in New York City, people will be like, are you having an open house this week? And I'll say something to the effect of, well, I can actually just make a private appointment with you. It's my job to show you this property. And they're sort of like, oh, no, whoa, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's like, this is my job.
Yeah.
Like, literally making an appointment with you is what I get paid to do. And
Yep.
they don't realize that. So an open house might be the only time you actually get to meet that person, because they won't even reach out to you to set up a private appointment.
Yep.
I also
And I mean,
think
the
that-
amount of times too that I have. I'm sorry,
Go
again,
ahead.
Eric.
I was just going to say that video by Shane is so perfect because it hits two different audiences. It attracts clients because it's showing his personality and shows the extra measure that he takes at his open houses. And then it's also giving advice to agents. So in terms of other agents watching that content now, they're thinking, I mean, we're talking about it right now. They're like, oh, $170 on Vistaprint for a custom banner. That's great. I also want to follow Shane. Now you have a referral partner. So any sort of
that's a
content
good
you can
point.
do that hits two different audiences like that, clients and agents, I think is really good.
Last point here before we move on to topic number 2. In the last 7 days, I looked at our P&L and I looked at where our ROI is. I have 3 agents, Amanda and 2 Jens, that did open houses last Saturday, and they got a ton of leads, probably about 80 each in their CRM, but they also sold the house. So it wasn't their listing, right? It's my listing. They did the open house and they got the buyer. Amanda made $21,000 in GCI for spending an hour and a half, and the 2 Jens made $30,000. So in 1 hour, right, an hour and a half, they made like 21,000 and 30,000 each.
How you doing?
And keep the change.
Do you guys
Lindsay
do that
Joe-
to each other while you're golfing the entire time? I can't
We
imagine
do.
being in a foursome
Pretty-
with you
pretty
guys.
much.
I
Yeah,
can't.
well,
Pretty
I'm
much.
not playing
It's-
with you either while you snap your 6-iron over your neck on your wedding day.
Snap it over
All
your
right.
neck next time we play.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know if you're doing open houses. Let us know. Keep Lindsay accountable here. Let's
the
let's
way-
get her doing some open houses.
Dan, you know who has great open house strategies? I assume the Tom Ferry ecosystem. Also Bandmax, but the Tom Ferry ecosystem. And by the way, we are going to be at the Tom Ferry Summit. That is August 22nd to the 24th in Dallas. It is going to be the best real estate conference of your life. And if you want to get a cheap ticket here, we got $100 off right here. All you have to do is use code PRBAMSS for $100 off. That's PRBAMSS, tomferry.com/SSB. We are throwing a Bam Bash. It is official. August 22nd from 6 to 9. It is going to be a rager. If you're not at the conference and you're not at the party, you may as well destroy your real estate license, rip it to pieces.
And, don't show up.
Yep.
Don't show
Let's
up.
go.
Exactly. It's going to be an
That
epic
time of year
conference.
again,
Make sure you
baby.
get your tickets down below. We'll see you in a month.
Yes. Oh man, I'm so excited. It's a Super Bowl of real estate. It
It
really
is.
is. I'm so excited to see you. I'm
The
excited
Super
to see
Bowl.
Jay.
Excited to see
Lindsay's fun.
Lindsay
You're
at
gonna
the
be there
party.
as
Let's
well.
go.
All right.
Yes.
Use that code. I don't have that memorized, but make sure you're there. If you're not there, just literally, you're not even in real estate. Topic number 2. This is actually by Lindsay Joe and the BAM staff, Real and Raw, sharing personal struggles on Instagram. This is something that we have been talking about for quite some time. Eric and myself personally, and even Lindsay and myself privately too. In a world bombarded with polished narratives and perfectly curated Instagram feeds, followers are now craving genuine connections and true authenticity online. While the word authentic is a constant word that is thrown around, it is so important to understand its true meaning and how to implement it into your content. Authenticity goes beyond surface level appearances. It involves sharing our real experiences, stories, emotions, and truly resonate with our followers. By embodying authenticity, establish immediate trust with our audience, which is key to building lasting connections, attracting clients, fostering loyalty, and positioning ourselves as a reliable and credible source online. Lindsay, may you please tee this up for us here. You've been doing an incrable job
Is this
on
an
social
AI
and
Dan
sharing.
talking right now?
That is
Robotic.
about as ChatGPT. I'm sorry, Lindsay. Did you use chat? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
No, it
Then
was
you were
just the way you were,
doing
it was
it.
just the way you were reading it.
No, you were reading it.
That was tough. It's tough to read.
Master
Yeah.
authenticity to be an agent and to show all of your faults.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Okay.
Lindsay,
All
You're
right,
you're
like
a
that
fantastic
robot
writer.
Euro trip.
Yes.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
Yes,
I
Lindsay.
think
You've
a
been doing
lot
an
of
amazing job on
times-
social.
Thank you. I think a lot of times as agents, we get stuck in showcasing that we're doing the job. And in order for somebody to hire you as their realtor, trust really has to take place. And we get people to trust us by being open online and being honest and by really sharing our struggles. That's the easiest way to build trust with your audience. People feel like they know you when you're open. And I also feel like we're moving into an era where brands are more focused on the CEO versus the product. Like if you asked me 20 years ago who the CEO of Budweiser was, I would have no idea. But today I know who Elon Musk is. I know who Mark Zuckerberg is. I feel like people are really wanting to know the face kind of behind the brand. And no, I did not use ChatGPT for this article, Dan.
Yes, I apologize. You're just an incredible writer. I could never. Can we actually tee up Lindsay's video, Haley?
Yeah, we got a few pieces of authenticity here. That's a great point, though, Lindsay, about how we actually know the faces behind these brands now.
I mean, it's for everyone too. I mean, even you're the face behind your brand, Eric. Trying to put a face behind. Oh, here comes the recording. Okay, love this video. We're in it, by the way. Thank you, Lindsay.
Sucker, dream crusher, bleed me dry like a damn vampire.
I mean, I love the video. I mean, it's showing, right? Like your struggles, you're happy, you're showing your personality. That makes me want to work with you. The only thing I hate about the video is that I am frozen and I'm like,
You are
from Monster from Men in
Robot Dan.
Black. But it's an amazing video, and you've inspired me to do the same, and also my team as well. And we've been really focusing on it. Eric, do we have another video or no?
Yeah, just that was a great reference. The cockroach bad guy from Men in Black. That was yeah, exactly.
More sugar,
More water,
more sugar,
more.
It's a great film, by the way.
It is. It definitely holds up. We also got one by Chris Benjamin here, but I think the point is, and I built my entire brand around doing the opposite of what agents were doing. Obviously, I'm not doing it to sell real estate, so there's something completely different. But in 2015, 2016, 2017, the landscape of real estate content was all agents just posting success after success after success. And I think that kind of, people start to drown that out, right? They want to see the struggles a little bit, not necessarily the struggles, like, oh man, I can't sell real estate right now. Like that would not probably be good content to post, but struggles possibly throughout a deal, stuff you're going in personal life. Because otherwise we do look like real estate robots like Dan. And Dan does a great job at showing his authenticity by you did a storytelling with one of your agents, I think, right? That did super well, super good Instagram.
Yep. And it's because I'm telling them, right, the same thing that we said on the walkthrough a few weeks ago. You need to put a face behind the brand, just like Gary Vee, as Lindsay mentioned. So I'm not going to tell them to do it and then be a hypocrite and not do it myself. So I have some amazing agents with incredible stories that some of them are very sad, but they've overcome their obstacles and they're doing such a good job. So I'm making it a point to highlight it. And what I've started to do is like, I was always so critical about comments and likes, like Eric, we all were, right? But it's the evolution of content. It's constantly changing. 2 years ago, the funny videos, they worked. It's got us to where we are now. But what I'm finding is that more people resonate with this because, I mean, listen, we are in a down year. If you looked at my 1099 last year versus mine this year, I'm probably going to be down a little bit. Like, it's just, right? It's the world. It's consumer. Not everybody can get behind, if you're just success, right? It's hard to get people to kind of, relate to you. So I just stopped caring. I've immediately turned off the likes and comments on videos that I have because I just don't care. I've been posting stuff because I want to, not because I think it's going to do well or because it's going to go viral or crush. And I've even, as so far as created a golf channel, like just as like for fun, as a joke, because I need to get some creativity like out of my head because I can't stand scrolling through Instagram anymore and seeing another rap video. No offense to anybody, but in doing that, I actually reached like for the first time ever 1 million views, and it was I didn't even know it. It happened on June 27th. I found out 2 days ago, and it's because I just generally stopped caring. And Lindsay even reached out to me and showed me a screenshot from somebody like, "Oh, I love Dan's new way of content, right? Like is really showing himself." And it's funny. It's like an oxymoron because the second I stop caring about what people think, people are now like, "Oh, I love this new Dan." So I think in talking to people in my team and trying to get them to post videos, like they won't do it. And then it's like, well, what's your excuse? And there is none. It's like, oh, I don't like the way I look. I get camera shy. And my last example here before I kick it to Jay, Lisa Chinati. She is a huge introvert. I sat in the car with her for 50 minutes. I don't think she said 2 words to me until I
She was probably terrified sitting in the front seat as you were swerving and weaving and bobbing and texting and speeding and vaping and crashing. And
she had a great experience. I did ask her
great experience. Yeah, she's probably wearing a helmet.
She was. She did tell me that she's an introvert and that she does not like video. And I told her that it could make her money. And so we made a very public $10,000 bet that will end at Tom Ferry Summit. Speaking of,
10 grand.
She has to do a video. Yep, a video every single day from now until August 15th. The first video, Lisa, I hope you don't watch this. I was like, oh man, maybe I should tell her this is not a good idea. Maybe let's just call this one off. Day 2, you would think it's Barbara Corcoran. She's blowing up right now in 4 days, right? And it goes to show you though, like first one was not that great. Now she's getting better each and every single day. She's more confident and it's working. So there's excuse.
She's just walking front face camera. She's not, no studio, no ring light, no nothing. Jay, do you do anything authentically on Instagram? Are you just uploading pictures of you in scarves? What are you doing over there to show people the true Jay Glazer?
So I will tell you, anybody who knows me, Dan knows me pretty well. I am unapologetically myself at all times. I don't know if necessarily like my Instagram reflects that, admittedly. And that's not necessarily like me trying to be something. That's just the content that sort of flowed. I will say I've tried so many different types of videos, content, informational, educational, neighborhood jams, all the stuff that's floated around our industry for years. But what I basically told my marketing manager, I don't know, like a year, 6 months ago, a year ago, was like, just put a camera on me during our meetings. And all of the sort of short form videos that you guys see now that are just like me sitting there, I've gotten a lot of like side comments about like, having male camel toe and things like that in my videos. So I need to like work on that. but maybe the angles aren't great. Get very tight pants.
Yeah.
But on my bingo card for today.
Yeah, I bet you didn't. So, but that's the point though, is like they are off the cuff, unscripted videos. People are messaging me being like, how many takes did you do that? I'm like, on my life, that is completely raw footage. Like there's no take there. I know that the video is, the camera's on me. So I'm like mindful of the words coming out of my mouth, but this goes back to the open house thing. Like if you're really good at your craft, then like you're going to be good on camera. You're going to be a good speaker. And I happen to be good. I have the gift of gab, not to like toot my own horn. So for me, like video and pushing out content isn't something I spend a lot of time like being self-conscious about. Like I've just reached a point in my life where I just really don't care, to Dan's point, and I've been like that for a long time. But to Lindsay's video, I think it's important, and I've not done enough of this, to show how the sausage gets made. I think that's what Lindsay's video is kind of trying to do, like how we actually listen. I sold an apartment. I tell the story all the time. I sold an apartment 2016 or 17, and the clients like brought me to hardcore tears. Like I was at my mom's house over like 4th of July weekend crying in my bed. And it happens to all of us. Like it was rough. And like, that's the kind, I think people see me as this like outgoing, super confident guy, but I go through the same crap that everybody else goes through. We all have the same struggles at the end of the day. So like, and Dan and I have spoken about some of this stuff offline, just like, just our mental health and stuff like that. Like I've dealt with a lot of that stuff over the course of my career. And I've been through a lot, like, my history in the industry is kind of nuts. So I could do a better job, maybe curating that type of stuff because I'm not against it. I just haven't spent the time to do it. But like, because now my focus is just like take a video, like take a camera, put it on me, and let's see what kind of content comes out. Like I do not crap. This is as like curated as I'll get, which is me in a conference room in my office, aka the Delta.
Yeah, the Delta Lounge. You got the
He's
espresso
flying to
machine
the
right
Tom
there.
Ferry conference already. He's trying to get in line for Bam
another,
Bash.
Can I get another? Yeah, exactly.
Double
Can I get
Jack
another
and Coke,
orange?
please. Can I get my third? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I get a Paloma? See, I don't know. For me, that's like our. But also, I think like I don't know if this is exactly on topic, but I think you have to know your audience as well. Like who are you curating and like catering these videos to? Like for me, the majority of my audience, which is not nearly as large as your guys's, is other agents. So agents really look at my work and say, okay, that's the kind of guy I want to refer. Like I'll get a referral from some random agent. I'm just out of curiosity. Like, how did you find me? Like, oh, you were on Tom Ferry, such and such. You were on this, this video, this interview, this, et cetera. And I thought it would be good to reach out to you because you seem like you know what you're doing. So like, I know that the majority of my audience is other agents in terms of, what we're trying to do on social versus if you are big on social with your clients, which I personally am not. I'm more on social with like brokers and friends. Then maybe my direction would go differently. I don't know.
Last point, like Eric created this as like a way to be creative, right? And it also inspires and helps other agents because it's all what we're going through, right? That's why it's so funny and so big now. Lindsay, you're inspiring all female agents, right? And I mean, even myself, so you can put me in that category as well, like to get out there and just be yourself, right? And show these videos. And I'm trying to, do the same. And like one video, like we're talking about the one that I did with Nick Huxtable, the amount of people that DM'd me, that messaged me, the amount of messages that he got, right? Like this kid's 20 years old. He lost his mom, his uncle, his grandfather, like all in in 3 months. The amount of messages that kid got, like it actually almost chokes me up, like joking around in a way, but the amount of messages that kid got, like I know for a fact, not only did it inspire other people, but it helped him. Like it's going to help him keep going. And he's not looking for sympathy. Like if you watch the video, he's not in any way, shape, or form. I have an agent on my team that just came over, battled leukemia. I'm trying to get him to post about it because he can inspire others. It's like, what is your excuse? Right? So not to go off on topic there, I apologize. But I think, Jay, you got to do a little bit of a better job being authentically yourself, my old self, and my old self. Down. And
I am who I am.
Thank you for inspiring.
Lindsay also does a great job at supplementing these posts with blog posts so people could dive deeper on that authenticity and really understand who she is. Like if you're an agent and you can't think of a video to make about describing the way you feel about something, link it to your blog and then people could read that and dive deeper as opposed to, feeling like you're forced to do it on camera. So great job.
But Lindsay, who's speaking to you in this content? Like, are you speaking to clients? Are they reaching out and being like, oh man, I didn't realize your job was that tough? Or is it other brokers generally?
I'm speaking to struggling agents. I've been really open about kind of my struggles throughout kind of my real estate journey. And 2022 was a really tough year for me. My mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And so, I need to be the agent that I needed in 2022. So that's who I'm speaking.
All right.
Amen. Well, I hope your mom's, we'll be praying for her for sure. All right. Let us know in the comments here what you're doing as content continues to evolve to stay with the times. Topic number 3 is Instagram Threads dead already? When Meta launched Threads earlier this month, users were eager to join the Twitter clone, but they did not seem to stay around. Users are only spending 6 minutes on the app a day, down from 21 minutes, and that is from SimilarWeb data. I don't know who the heck that is. Threads is losing daily users just as fast as they gained them. The daily average time U.S. users spend scrolling through the buzzy new app is down to less than a third of what it was at its peak. And again, according to data from SimilarWeb, which based its estimate on usage on the app on Android phones, were down 50%. On July 7th, 2 days after the app's launch, users were on Threads for around 21 minutes a day on average. But this total slid as the week progressed, with the users averaging just over 6 minutes a week later. That's literally 50%. 49 million to 23.6 million people in the same time frame. Listen, we've been talking about it. We mentioned it with the day that it came out. It was the shiny new toy. I hated it. I haven't opened it up in 5 days. I told Eric this the other day because I can't find what I want to find. I can't search anybody. I want to see UFOs. I want to see what's going on in sports. I want to see what's going on in politics. I want to know when they're going to say that aliens are here. July 26th, keep the change. I want to know those things, right? I can't find that on Threads. So Eric, what are your thoughts on it, and what are you seeing right now? Because you were definitely using it the right way for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is the third week in a row we're talking about Threads. First week, we were all gassed up about it. Second week, we were trying to talk about best practices. Third week, we are announcing that it has died. That Threads is dead. I don't think it's actually dead, for the record. It's just everybody's behavior is signaling this, right? I mean, 21 minutes to 6 minutes, that's a 66% drop. And that was on July 14th. It's July 20th now. I bet it's half that, because I was threading 15 times a day. When Threads first started, everybody was so excited to just say exactly what was on their mind. They're like, oh, I'm going to say what I had for lunch. I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to try to get engagement here. I'm going to, comment under Tom Ferry's post. I'm going to do it was exciting. It was fun because you had that initial engagement rush. You had that little spout of euphoria, all these new followers because they were coming over from Instagram. And then I think people ran out of what to say. I think a lot of agents were, this is like their first experience with a Twitter-like app, because I don't think most agents use Twitter, maybe just to consume content, but certainly not to post on content, because posting on Twitter is probably not your best use of time in terms of content creation to actually get leads for real estate agents. So I think a lot of people kind of used up all of their creative juice in the first week, second week. And then now, like you said, I've been going back to Twitter because I want to see what's happening in politics and sports. And Threads isn't there yet, which I don't think it's really intended to be. Like Zuckerberg and Adam Mosseri, the Instagram CEO, said Threads is about having conversations and having nice conversations. It's not about sports updates and politics. And that's kind of like, it's also not filling a void, right? It's not solving a problem. Twitter exists, right?
Yes.
So in terms of just seeing text-based content, it's already there. So I think it's still going to be around, just because when you have 100 million people on this thing, they're going to find ways. Zuckerberg and Facebook, they're very clever about retaining people's attention and evolving. So I don't know. I'm certainly not having as much fun on it as I was week 1, week 2. I don't care at all about it right now.
One question for you before I pass it to everybody else here. Do you think that how not user friendly, I compared it to almost like going from Apple to Android or like Google phone, because it's not user friendly, I can't search these things. I don't really know. You have a number. It's almost like you're in jail, right? Do you think that because it's not as user friendly as Twitter maybe, right? Or as easy, do you think that maybe is hurting a little bit too, or am I just an idiot?
Yeah, I think you're an idiot. I think the actual, no, you're not an idiot. I think that it was pretty easy to use early on, but they just don't have the search feature yet. They don't have the hashtag feature yet. So in terms of searching, they're definitely going to get that. But I thought the interface
I don't even
was
follow
nice.
anybody. Who do I follow? I can't even
follow
figure it out.
all the people that you follow on Instagram. Lindsay, are you using Threads? I know at the beginning you were.
I am.
I just
Initially,
haven't been on enough to track what's going on.
Yeah, initially I feel like I was really excited about it, because I feel like sometimes I can get in my head a little bit with my posts on Instagram. I'm like, am I setting a good example? Are these posts aligned with my brand? So I feel like Threads was cool because you could just kind of brain dump and then forget about it. But I have found that the excitement has kind of worn off a little bit, and I am going back to Twitter now for news. So
Yep.
Jay, what about you? You've been threading?
No, I mean, I don't know if you guys have watched me roll my eyes for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I have actually. You look like you're about to puke. Maybe it's those 3 palomas you had in the lounge.
Yeah, so hold on. Wait, hold on. I just got a new Vine. Let me just check it out. No, for me, listen, I consider Threads, as it relates to real estate, like the Gary V effect to some degree, in that he is always jumping on new things and trying to monetize and find a way to make it functional, which I actually I respect the hell out of him for doing that. And I actually really am a fan of his brand. But I also think that someone said, shiny new toy, we as agents, we started this conversation talking about open houses, the most old school, conventional, grassroots, blue collar style of doing business as a effective way to generate money. And now we're talking about something that no one really fully understands yet, as a way to somehow create, listen, at the end of the day, we're in this business to make money. And so Threads, I would assume people are thinking, well, how do I generate leads, or how do I monetize, et cetera? To me, I didn't even create a Threads account. It was just completely non-starter for me, because the Gary Vee effect is like, how do we get rich quick sometimes in my head? Like that's how I view his product. And
So you didn't buy any NFTs from him back in the day?
I do not own any smoking
Jay
ape
has
NFTs or whatever it is.
Jay has a bunch
Let
of
me just get out my Mickey Mantle rookie card right here. No,
There's
I
a
don't
bunch
know.
of happy
Listen, I
hippo
respect
V
the
friends.
hustle. Yeah, exactly. I respect the hustle for sure, and I don't ever want to take away what from someone else going all in on something. If someone had some great like plan for Threads, like I'm all for it. But what I think happens in our industry is we substitute the quick fix of Threads with something that we know in our head and in our gut, our belly, on a visceral level, is a better use of our time.
Yeah.
But we want to procrastinate and we don't want to get to it. I'm the king of, being like, oh, let me just like watch this YouTube how-to video and like not actually just making my calls. Like I'm the first person to try something like the quick fix. I'm not pointing fingers. Like I'm guilty of this.
How many Twitter burner accounts do you have, Jay? Yeah, at least
like
one.
7. I only have like 75. No big deal.
I don't think agents were getting on Threads as a quick fix to improve their real estate business. I think they were doing it as just another arm of their brand. Like Lindsay, when you download Threads, you weren't thinking, oh, I'm going to get a ton of referrals from this. You were probably just like, okay, now shackles are off. Instagram algorithm doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, try to kind of, get more exposure to the brand. But I agree with you. A lot of agents do with content, Jay, and we feel almost responsible for this because all we talk about is content creation. That
of course.
Then the back to basics thing doesn't necessarily happen. But it is crazy. Just 3 weeks ago, Threads, I was like, oh my God, this is something that I'm going to have to post on, from a media perspective, 10 times a day on BAM account, on the Broke Agent account. We're going to have to have an entire new strategy, putting out articles, and that still may be the case. But I feel so much better about it now. I'm done with it. I mean, I'm not done with it, but I hope
Wait, whoa.
I hope it goes.
Announcement.
I'm not done with it. I'm happy if it goes away. Please, we got enough places to post.
You know what I would like to do? I would like to get somebody on here that is using Threads, maybe like an Ed Stulak, right, to maybe like defend it or see, because he's been going on from like
he
day
claimed
one.
He got a lead on it like week 1. He posted a screenshot of it, so maybe he did.
Yeah.
Let's have on.
I think the BAM like point of view though is different. Like you like Tom Ferry, you're obligated to at least at the very minimum explore these new channels. Like you have to. You're almost doing your brand and your business a disservice by not doing it. I think as an agent who is not by definition like obligated to pump out content, it's obviously important for our business, incredibly important for our business, but it's by no means like what we have to do to be successful. I don't know if Threads is something that, like, again, obviously I did not invest in it, so I didn't want to go like so deep on it, thinking it would somehow be a new tentacle.
Yeah, never.
This guy's been opining about Threads for the last 10 minutes. He's never been on the.
That's correct. That is an accurate statement.
That's correct. Oh my God! But before we move on to topic number 4, Eric, where can agents go to learn the best practices, to learn about marketing?
It's so obvious at this point, Dan. If you're not a member of BAMX, just like if you're not going to the TF event, you should have your license rescinded. You are out of your mind. You're not a loser, of course, but this is where you go to become a better agent and to grow your brand. This is BAMX. We got the best courses in the game. Tom's story. We got my Instagram course. We got Byron Lazine, Zillow Premier Agent Leads. But it's not just about the courses. We got masterminds. We got bi-monthly masterminds. We have a private Facebook community. This is where you meet like-minded agents like us who want to improve their brand, who want to grow, and who want to crush it in real estate. So use code WALKTHROUGH, WALKTHRU, for 10% off BAMX. It's literally a cup of coffee a month. It's absolutely nothing. So you should get in there. It will help you, and you get direct access to all of us, the entire BAM crew as well. I also noticed something, Dan. There was a comment on the walkthrough, which is pretty funny. I noticed when I drink coffee, I like chew it afterwards. And then someone commented, it was just like, I've never seen someone chew so much liquid during an entire episode. So now I'm super conscious of that, which is pretty funny.
Well, you always cough. Thank God you're not sick this week. All right.
Oh, I'm finally not sick. I'm good now. It's incredible. I feel like a new man. I don't have a cloud in my head.
All right. Topic number 4. Throw us a like, throw us a comment. Shout out to Jay and Lindsay here for joining us. You know what we do here for topic number 4. We do it each and every single week. We have the marketer of the week. Eric, the floor is yours, my friend. if this is a rap video, I swear to God, I'm leaving. I will leave.
Drum
and you will
roll,
just see this
please.
chair.
Everyone.
You will just see this chair.
The person who posted this is a genius. This might be the best piece of marketing I've ever seen in my life. Lindsay, can you, Haley, can you pull this up? This is absolutely brilliant.
Oh boy.
Oh, look, it's me, the broke agent. This is incredible.
Right.
I set up a mini chat with this, an MANYCHAT, to get people to go to our YouTube webinar with Tom Story that we did yesterday. We got over 1,400 registrants. And this is how I did it. Haley, if you could go back to the first one. If you could go back to the first one. This is a little carousel swiper for the people at home. I went meme, talking about agents who got licensed in 2021, thinking TikTok would bring them unlimited deals. Swipe again. There's another meme right there. Then there is a call to action where I'm telling people that YouTube converts better than IG because that's what people say. And I think it's true because long form builds way more trust than a little Instagram video. And then I said, if you want to create hyperlocal YouTube channel that generates more leads, we invite you to the grand finale, swipe one more time, the YouTube strategy that converts with Tom's Story. So then in the caption, I told people to comment the word BAM and they would get a direct invite to this seminar. And the reason this works so well is because you lead with humor, you lead with a hook, you explain the premise that, you know, Instagram and TikTok might necessarily get the job done. You talk about why long form's better, so now they're bought in, and then you push the webinar. And the best thing about this, and I think all agents should use these chat bots, ManyChat, ManyChat, is by far the best way to get people to click on links. People do not click on links in your stories that much, although Lindsay, people click on your links and stories because you got like 1,000 link clicks to your last blog, which is incredible, which shows how, you know, good and potent your Instagram following is. That's awesome. But ManyChat, if you got a buyer's guide, you got a seller's guide, you got a PDF, you got a seminar you want people to come to, you want to invite people to an open house, you want to send them a DM to listing photos. Why don't you say something like comment the word Oak Street to your listing? And then you have a chat bot that is just sending them that direct message with that PDF, because people do not click on links in your bio. They rarely click on links in your stories. This is the best way to get people to direct them to something. So ManyChat, ManyChat. We're going to have a tutorial of that in BAMX. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this. If you guys, Lindsay, have you used ManyChat yet? It's incredible.
I do. I like ManyChat a lot. So I have it set up to where anybody like replies to my story with like a laughing emoji or a heart, it will send them a message that just says thank you.
Really?
And then
that's genius.
Yeah, because it just takes a lot of time, honestly.
How do you do that? I mean, I'm sitting there like a jabroni, like saying thank you to hundreds of people every single day, wasting, you know, like. Yeah.
I guess Eric is going to have to do the course to teach you.
We'll have a tutorial on that. But Lindsay, that is genius, because I've always used ManyChat to direct people to a link to get emails or to like give them an actual PDF. But knowing if you're going to get a crying emoji face or a heart face every single time and responding to that, that's a really good idea. And then you're not even selling anything. You're not even like pushing them to anything. So I think that's good. Jay, have you ever screwed around with ManyChat?
No, I'm literally texting my team right now, like angry pictures of myself being like, why are we not doing this?
Why aren't we doing ManyChat with the Snapchat filter?
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a maniacal overlord photo.
It's great. So
now.
I just want to say one more thing about how to get people to use this. If I just posted the link to the YouTube webinar with Tom Story, or just said comment the word BAM, not as many people are going to do it. But because I hooked them with something funny, that post is still getting shared just as a normal broke agent meme. So if you're going to ever sell anything, like not sell necessarily, but if you want to direct people to a specific link, always try to do it with like an information grabbing, doesn't have to be funny, hook, and then get them to comment. And not only say it in your caption, but say it in the actual post so you catch their eyes multiple times. So if you want to rewatch that webinar too, you got to become a member of BAMX, because we have that in the content library as well. And we have all of Tom's Story's slides. Use code walkthrough, 10% off. That's the show. That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Jay Glazer, you're the man. Lindsay, Joe, I will see you in Dallas. Jay Glazer, we'll see you in Dallas. And we'll see everybody else in Dallas, because you're coming to the BAM Bash and you're buying some tickets. Let's go.
BAM Bash, BAM Bash, BAM Bash.